And welcome back to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I'm going to be working on my Dwarf Schefflera. It's a planting that I put into this pot earlier in this season, and it has grown beautifully. I do not like the tree though. This is something I bought some pots, and this was in one of the pots that I bought, a much smaller pot. So I've had it for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. And I never really liked the way it was done in clump style. These were individual trees or individual cuttings that someone had put together. I've added two cuttings to it and another section in the front. Well, I'll show you more in close-up. If you can see the front of the tree, this is the front of the planting. But right here is a cutting from another tree that I just put in here. It's not even the same tree. And it was poorly placed. I just stuck it in here and it rooted. And it did help to disguise these bare trunks that are back here. Two cuttings that I did take off this tree, I put back here much closer and I bound them to the original cutting, trying to have more of a clump style. I stuck a piece of wood in here in order to drive these out a little bit so they're not quite as in line. And my intention will be to remove this front cutting when I'm further along with this and I repot it maybe in the spring. I'll put it back in the same pot, but I'll just remove this cutting and do some root work. But my problem with this is these long trunks that have no foliage down low. So I'm thinking I might be doing some real Hail Mary cutting back today and starting all over with branches. So I've got my fingers crossed and let's get started. I'm going to start by defoliating the tree. So that I will do in time lapse. And the last two leaves. There it is. Now hopefully you can see what I've been seeing, and that is that it would have been nice to get some of this growth lower down on the tree. Now I got something here growing this way, and maybe I leave that, cut off this top. One aerial root right here. I'm going to try and provide a more humid environment for this tree because that's sad. Anyway, I mean, these trunks are starting to look a little woody, nice. These that I had put back here are also starting to look a little woody and nice. I'm going to take away this binding that I did and these wood pieces, and hopefully this won't spring back. Not bad. Okay, the placement is fine. So I'll remove these wires. They've done their job. All right, last one. Now you can see that this This cutting has no business being here at all. So this will be coming out. So let's just ignore that for what I'm doing here. I do have some surface roots here that are, maybe I'll expose some more when I transplant this. Okay, so let's make some decisions. Right from the start, I think this branching is all too high. So, where do I cut? I did watch a few videos to see if you can hard prune back to old wood. I know these green cuttings will send out a shoot pretty much wherever I cut it to, but it's these woody cuttings that I'm concerned about. So, let me get behind the camera and see. All right, what I'm thinking about is cutting the whole planting down to here. Now, if you're out there screaming, don't do it, don't do it, I hear you, but I don't know what else to do. I don't want a tall tree, and if I just let this keep growing now, that's all I'll have. So with that, I'm holding my breath, but I'm going to do it. This is going to be a short video. I have a little leaf scar here, so I'm going to cut above that. I may plant these cuttings. So I should get something growing out this way. This is the most dominant trunk, so it should perhaps be the tallest. You know what? I'm going to use a little pruner. That one's gone. Also, kind of a cool cutting. This one about the same. This one has some branches toward the back, or an old branch that had been cut off in the back, but there are buds on this. So I'm going to cut this one back to here. I'm going to straighten this cut out. This one back to here. This one I'm going to cut right back to here because, as I said, I'm taking that one out. Now those two back ones, they fit okay in the whole planting, or in the planting as a whole, but I think I'll cut this one back to here. And this one back to here. That's a pretty sad remnant from where I started. I'm going to take a little of this off the top before I put it back on the bench in my greenhouse. And that's all for this tree. I thought I'd give you one last look at this from a slightly higher angle, looking down at it. You can see that this was quite a radical cut back. My fingers are crossed that everything will grow back, and like I said, this piece is going to come out. Got some surface roots here. I did clear a little bit of the soil away from the top just to try and expose a little more of what's going on here. This is, I don't know, is it nice? Probably not, but until I take this out and see what else is going on down there, it's the best I've got. I did have one more thing I wanted to try. I said I was going to try and put this in a more humid environment. What I'm going to try and do is get a plastic tub that's about this size and just sit it on top. It'll be a clear plastic tub. And see if that helps develop aerial roots, which would be so nice. All right, thank you. Cheers.